think something bad's happened. I'm glad you're back safely, but I can tell you went into the Bliss. I tried to warn you. I hope whatever you got from Joseph was worth it.
Let's
We
see.
have a new problem.
I acquired the highly
It's
coveted sacred art at the double jump. I can now rival a snake in the art of stealth.
He said he was
And on
going
top
out
of
to do
that,
some
I've been
recon, but he
blessed
never
with
came
the
back.
ancient and mystical trait of
Bad feeling about
immortality.
this.
So,
Please go search the
yeah.
county for him.
Pretty
I'll
worth.
watch over the people here. Be careful.
Not my problem. What do I look like, his fucking
Rabbit.
babysitter?
We told you to stop causing problems. You didn't listen. We got your people. We got Rush.
You say
Come
that
down
like
to the
you're
old
expecting me to
fertilizer
give a
plant.
shit.
Y'all gonna learn a lesson.
Alright,
There
fine,
you are,
I'm here.
Rabbit.
What do you want?
We were warned, but you and Rush kept making too many problems for us.
Rush
Finally, we had to
didn't
take
really
things into
do
our own
shit,
hands.
actually. He literally killed the one guard that was holding him hostage. Dumb fucking idea, by the way. If anything, I've been the one causing you serious problems, liberating specialists, recruiting people for the resistance, fortifying prosperity, gathering supplies. I've killed probably 600 times the amount of your people that Rush has. Why does he get kudos? On another note, let me go back to that statement for a minute. So we finally had to take things into our own hands. You're just now starting to think that? If I was either one of you, I'd be fucking embarrassed, because you two do not have a brain between the two of you. If you would've came at me like that from the beginning, I would've been fucked. F-U-C-K-E-D, fucked. Up shit creek, without a canoe, without a paddle, not even a life preserver to float in the ship with. I had no weapons, no health, no allies, no upgrades, nothing. Come to think of it, how the fuck have you not wiped Prosperity off the map by the time I showed up? There was like 15 people there when I first arrived. Tops! Low on supplies, low on food and water, low on morale and resolve. Hell, most of them are farmhands. It's practically a glorified labor camp. Not to mention there wasn't even one single person with any expertise. The only person that was doing anything even remotely beneficial there was Kim. One fucking strategist and leader, and she's more of a fucking housewife than anything. You have an entire militia. You have enough firearms and explosives to level a continent. You have their people building transportation and weapons for you. Just how fucking incompetent are you two? It's a little bit ironic that I've spent pretty much the entire game freeing all these people, and now I gotta come do this dumbass shit and rescue them all from the same fucking people. How did these idiots even get captured anyway? Weren't they back at the base or whatever? Did I miss a job fair or something? That's another thing that's incredibly fucking stupid. If your ultimate goal is to eliminate us and wipe us off the map, why the hell would you go through the trouble of setting this ridiculous shit up? Think about it. This took forethought, planning, people, time, resources. All that shit could have been better used formulating assaults for raids, organizing supply runs, recruitment, training soldiers in hand-to-hand combat so I couldn't effortlessly shank them every 5 seconds. Real dumbass move on your part. Why would you even give me the chance to rescue them knowing what I'm capable of? Why not just off them in cold blood or subjugate them and put them to work for you somehow? What, to make an example out of me? They wouldn't even have ample time to process disappointment. They have bombs around their necks. They'd die. Now, if you're trying to use me as an example for the people of Prosperity, that's also fucking stupid, because everyone's aware of the fact that I've been busting my ass nonstop for them ever since I got there. I've rescued innumerable hostages, scavenged supplies, bolstered a resistance, taken out numerous outposts. Hell, I even brought Kim's husband back. You know what Kim would say if I failed to rescue all these people? She'd say, "We may have suffered heavy losses, but we gotta keep up the fight, or their deaths will have been for nothing, and people will carry on with their fucking day." Do you really think anyone's gonna be able to hear a pin drop just because 10 or so average as nobody's died? You are fucking terrible at strategy. You are playing against yourself at a net loss. I'll take dumbass twins for 1,000, Alex. There's something that really bothers me about this game. Mainly the fact that these twins have got to be the most disappointing inept, amateurish villains I have ever seen. Not just in a Far Cry game, I mean like in general. I feel like there's a lot of faults with them. They're completely devoid of any personality. Their purpose is incredibly shallow-minded and took absolutely no thought. And on top of that, they're just not imposing at all. Like, villains are supposed to make you feel anxious, scared, uneasy, threatened, even sympathetic sometimes, but these two don't make me feel anything. They just suck. And it's disappointing because when New Dawn was first coming out, like when it was on the brink of release, and I first heard that the main antagonist was going to be twins, I started to like theorize, like I started to think, I was like, what kind of twists and turns could the narrative take, you know?
Real familiar.
Like, what if one
Like we've been
betrayed
down
the
this road
other
before?
because they had a higher goal in mind? Or what if you were all
Relax.
actually born triplets,
Stay a
but you
while.
were separated at birth, or whatever, you know? And what sucks even more is that the game feels like all the necessary elements are there, with the radiation and nuclear
Come on.
wildlife and the
You've been so good up to
post-apocalyptic
this
setting,
point.
but nothing was capitalized on, and the execution was poor, and it leaves a
at
lot to
that.
be desired. A lot of this game has
See
just
how easy you
been
can be to
a
get along
monotonous
with?
slog, and
I wanted
I
you to
gotta be
understand
honest,
that.
I haven't
I
enjoyed
wanted
it
you to
much.
see that things
It's been
could
more
have ended
draining
differently
than
if you
anything.
Just listened to us
I guess
and
I just
away.
went into this expecting too
Instead,
much from what
you
is
chose
ostensibly a spin-off, but imagine
it
instead if you had a Far Cry that took place in, like, China or something, and the atmosphere was totally there, with ruins and cavernous tunnels to explore, and tunnels under the ocean, and flora and fauna, and all that shit. And the twin villains could have been Siamese twins that were raised as assassins from birth or something, and you had to sword fight them in a fancy, ornate gold hotel, or like a castle. It could be all cinematic, and the huge room is on fire, you know, like hazards like falling wood to avoid periodically through the fight for immersion, neon lights of the city off in the distance throughout a giant broken glass door, and you're like several stories up, some shit like that. That would have been cool. But nah, instead of that, we get two bratty and insufferable twins that never shut the fuck up. Like, every time I get a close-up view of their smug, dumbass faces, I just want to roid out like Bruce Banner or Hulk Hogan and just beat the fucking shit out of them. Kinda like this. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O, we fell out a window. I'm the protagonist, bitch. I don't care. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Michelle, Louise, I need you to listen to me.
Why? You're not.
This mother is on her hands and knees, telling her children to listen to her. Just hear her out. As soon as she said, you need to listen to me, and she said, why? Game over would have popped up on the fucking screen. I would have taken my hand across her fucking mouth.
Gotta go, Mom. Dad's here.
Michelle, you two need to take care of each other. Because your dad, he won't. He has a lot of big plans, but everything he does ends in violence.
Dad solves problems.
Wait. So this is their backstory? Are you fucking serious?
Trail of bodies
There's
behind
no
every
context
pair.
or anything.
It's hurt.
Like, were her dad and her mom in a domestic dispute or something? Like, there's no context. Like, what am I supposed to feel here? The presentation of this game fucking sucks ass, dude. So, from what I'm gathering here, is her mom and her dad, or their mom and their dad, whatever, they were in a domestic dispute or something, and they're splitting up, and the kids are going with the dad. So they're following the dad, who's an angry, fucking abusive psychopath. That's what I'm getting out of this.
It's done.
You better get your kicks in while you can, because I swear to God, when this cutscene ends and I get up, I'ma do to you what Kanye West did to music. That's what the fuck I thought. Get your ass on. God damn, I fell far. Well, less of a fall, more like a shotgun blast to the chest out the window of a 3-story building. Shouts to the homie Ed Wensler III. Oh shit. If we survived that, then maybe our homie had some sort of special power and he survived too. Nope. He's still very much dead.
Rush, I'm sorry.
Why are you even talking to him? He's
sorry.
dead, dumbass. It's not like he can hear you. What the fuck?
sorry I
No,
brought
she
you to
wasn't.
help him.
Where were you during the intro escape sequence? We had to
We'll
survive
always
being pushed off a cliff in a cutscene and
a
shit.
risk for us.
I highly
Cost
doubt
you
she was
once.
able to slip past dozens of armed dipshits by
It's all my
herself.
fault. Rush,
The guy with the
I
long
promise we'll
hair
make you
next to
proud.
Carmina looks bored as fuck. Me too, man. Me too.
He was a good man. Selfless. And you...
Uh-huh. See? I told you.
You did everything.
Rush died. And she's like, you did everything you
Twins are
could.
always a step ahead.
Nah, I really didn't though, because I have the hidden fruit of eternal life, and they didn't shoot him until I handcuffed myself. Voluntarily, by the way. But whatever.
I'm gonna go check on Carmina. When you want to hear what I have in mind, come talk to me.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought the French dude with the funny accent was
We're
gonna
all
kiss
shaken up
him
by
for
the
a
loss of
second.
Rush, but we can't let up. As much as I hated the idea of talking to Joseph, I have to admit that having New Eden attack the Highwaymen has given us a chance to blindside them.
Yeah. It
By
also
talking
gives
to
me
scouts,
badass mystical
it seems
powers
that
that
out by
allow
the
me to
old
be
orchards,
shotgunned
there's
out
a
the
place
window
the
of a
Highwaymen
3-story
buried
building,
rights.
so.
The promoter out there claims to be close to the twins. Who knows if it's true, but it's worth checking out.